What's up, everyone? And let's get my face on here instead of Shawn's. Hey, everyone, and welcome to the live podcast of Class vs. Crass on Nintendo Enthusiasts. For those unfamiliar with the show, referring to myself in the first person, third person, Shawn and I, we get together every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We toss up some topics. We've actually been very bad at keeping a format for this, but we basically toss up a topic, discuss it, debate it, and hash it out with you guys in the chat room. So do feel free to pass up any topics you want us to talk about altogether in the chat room. Oop.
Yeah, why don't you mute that? That'd be a good idea.
Yep. Forgot to mute
Yeah,
myself. There we go. Now we're good. We're good. So how are you doing tonight, Shawn?
I'm good, man. I'm good. A little tired, but it's all good.
I am also tired. In my opinion, that's why I am screwing up so much. Tonight there is no
Yeah,
tradition.
something like that.
No, there's no wine tonight. So usually I have wine on this show to highlight the class versus the crass, but we are bypassing wine for today. So big news topic last week, Shawn. We had Club Nintendo closing in favor of something new coming up. What do you think of that?
I think it's a good idea. I did a video like that same day when it closed, just talking about what I thought was going to be the successor of it. So I've kind of said my piece, but it kind of sucks. I mean, let's face it, Club Nintendo hasn't been all that great in the past, year or so, 2 years anyway. So it's not that big of a deal, and I think whatever they come up with will be cool, hopefully. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see for sure.
All right, so actually I'm just realizing there's a lot of topics that we can talk about Club Nintendo. First one being, what was your favorite reward in the whole site? It's been 6 years that Club Nintendo's been up, so what was your favorite reward?
I never really cared about like the the traditional awards. I was always just more into it. It's gonna sound bad. I was more into it just to like get like warranties and shit. Like that was cool for me. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna register this system. I got an extra year warranty. But I mean, I would get the games and stuff. Like, so to me, that was the most important thing, is just getting the extra warranty and getting the games.
Don't forget, on this show you gotta toss questions back.
Oh yeah. So what was your favorite thing? I figured you would just like segue into it. Like, oh well, my favorite thing was.
I could, but it's more humble when someone asks you. All right, so for me, I joined, I don't know how long ago. I've been around for a while. I've been loving the games that they've been releasing. So, like, I know a lot of people have been complaining, like, for the Platinum Gold rewards. I loved how you could just get free games. I got a lot of games through Club Nintendo that I would not have purchased on my own. Example of that, I think it was a Platinum reward either last year or probably the year before. It was a 3DS game called, frick, what was the game? It was about a samurai. It's like, I think it was the Sakura Samurai or something like that. And it was a game that was all about like your reflexes, and it was amazing. I loved it. I would have never bought it, but I really enjoyed playing it. My favorite rewards, though, and I think this stands to say it's a safe bet for anyone, is really those figurines. I think in the first year, one of the Platinum rewards was that Bowser and Mario character figurine, by far the coolest. Do you know what the one I'm talking about?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I know what you're referencing. I do. I don't have one, but I know what you're talking about.
And the only figurine I saw when I was actually part of the club was um, the Luigi figurine, which came out, I think that was last year in February or something. I was really trying to rack up some points for that. I was maybe 400 coins
No,
away. Yeah. Did you get that one, the Luigi one?
no, I never like really paid attention to the figures as far as like when Platinum was up and stuff. Like I was terrible about that. So no, I didn't get any of the figures or anything.
Oh, so you weren't even on there very often to like the rewards didn't mean that much to you then.
No, I mean I was. I just had a shit ton of points that I never used, and I never cashed in to get my free stuff.
So what do you think you're gonna do with your stash now that the club is closing? Are you gonna wait till the last day, or as soon as you see an item, you're gonna jump on it?
Well, they said they're gonna do some stuff, kind of like a fire sale. sort of thing. So I'll probably wait on it. I mean, worst case, if there's a bunch of stuff I have already, I'll just give away some codes or whatever on the show. But yeah, I'm just gonna just hold on to it. What about you?
So this is tough. Like, I think I'll just, if I see something, I'll buy, but I'm always tempted to just wait, hold on, and see what else is going to come out. Like the way the announcement, they made it sound like there would be a trickle of rewards up until the end or close to the end. But if they would just be like in February, here are all your rewards, just pick something out of it, then it'd be easy to spend. But I don't know. I feel like they would hold on to something special. I just don't want to miss out on anything.
You're probably right. Like the end thing could be really cool. I don't know. It's hard to say because everything was so sudden. It just kind of popped up out of nowhere. But long overdue. I'm definitely cool with it.
So what do you see as the successor to this? Like, what would you want to see? And of course, I'll answer what I want to see after.
Um, I don't know really. Just I guess something that's like all encompassing. Like I don't know how they would do it because of like game rentals and stuff, but something that would just um where when you buy the game and you play it on your system, you don't have to register it. Like you could do it all through your system or through a channel on the system or something. Something like that. I think would be easier. And then just fucking free games. Like why not? And then towards the end, I guess you could do some sort of collectible. I mean, really, I think the whole thing of it is it's a cost cutting measure because I mean it probably costs a good bit to keep up with that site, keep up with the rewards, keep up with everyone's stuff. So by getting rid of the website, you're essentially cutting costs on that, especially if you make something that's just strictly digital. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure. Like I agree. Cutting costs makes sense. Like when you just consider the postage, like a lot of these items were physical, they had to be shipped. A lot of them, they reminded me like the early prizes. I think most of them are gone by now. But when I joined, there was like stickers, Mario shoelaces. Like I felt these were all items that you would get in like a fundraising program for your grade school. I don't know if you guys had that growing up. Those sorts of things where you go door to door, you sell stuff, and then you get points, and then they give you like shoelaces and stickers and sneaker wings.
Yeah, I never did it. I would just make my parents and my grandparents buy stuff. Like I would do the bare minimum because I didn't care about that shit. I had video games to play.
But see, one of our top prizes actually as a kid was Sega Genesis. So I tried really hard that summer or that
You,
winter.
but did you win?
Nope, but got some awesome stickers out of it.
See, screw that. I'd have just been chilling, and then I could have gone to the store and bought my own stickers.
True. Yeah, so for it makes more sense for sure. For a legacy, and I'm opening it up to the chat. If any of you guys have, like, what do you guys want to see out of the Club Nintendo, like the next iteration of Club Nintendo? What do you guys want to see from a rewards program? I would love to see, really, just more. I feel like they were going down the right path by rewarding people with games. I don't see what more they could do. Physical rewards were cool, but you never really want to buy them because you wanted to wait and see if something was better. And it's expensive. They're probably not going to bring back physical rewards. Getting maybe like early access, like if you reach different levels of Nintendo qualifications in the club program, maybe you get early access or occasional discounts on top of getting like a free game every now and then.
Yeah, I never even thought of that. That's not terrible. I mean, for games like Splatoon and whatnot, you know, like beta access or whatever, like a extensive demo. That's not a terrible idea.
What about exclusive amiibos? You'd be all up on that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
couldn't care less.
All right. So that's enough. You have anything else on Club Nintendo? Any other like questions, topics on that?
Nah, I mean, it's done. It is what it is. It's over. Rest in peace. And good riddance.
All right. Just addressing Stephen Bauer's comment here. Plural of amiibo is amiibo. I've been corrected many times on that. And I don't know if he's correcting me or someone else, but that is true. Oh, no, it is someone else. But yes, I've definitely learned that amiibo, plural, is amiibo. All right, Shawn, you have another topic for the group? If not, I have a few more.
Um, I don't. I think that was my topic to you, and then you didn't like my other topic. So yeah, go ahead.
No, no, I did like one. The overrated one. You can go ahead with that.
Oh, okay. All right. What's the most overrated game in your opinion? Overrated meaning that everyone, jerks it off like it's the greatest thing of all time, and you just don't see the appeal.
All right, so we're talking about a lot of years of gaming, so I'm not going to remember the old stuff unless you jog my memory. Most recent in memory is Monster Hunter Ultimate 3 is one of them, and I'll get into the details of that. And the other one is probably The Last of Us for obviously PlayStation 3 or 4. So, what?
How are you gonna steal my one damn game? Like really?
Well, think further back, and I'll let you hash out. I'm guessing yours is Last of Us that you don't like?
Mother- yes. Jesus Christ on marijuana. Yes.
All right, so I'll leave that one to you because I don't feel that I'm actually kind of enjoying it, but it's not a 10 out of like it's a good game, it's a good story. I'm enjoying it, but I'm not hating it like you. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, Monster Hunter 3, yeah, that's full name. So when I like signed up with Nintendo Enthusiasts a while back, everybody in the forums was playing this game, and they made it sound so fun. I think we touched up on this last week. So I went to the store, got Monster Hunter 3, played it for an hour, and I just couldn't get into it. I know an hour is not that much to get into a game, but like it was just like I killed some beasts. I was buying stuff. It's just like it's a huge, deep game. Like so much stuff to craft, so much stuff to collect. For like someone who likes to like complete everything in a game, it's like unfathomable. It's practically like undoable for someone like me. I can't put that much time in a game, and I've just didn't know really anyone to play it with. So it was like
Well,
an
that's the
MMO.
problem. If you're playing it by yourself, it's not that great. Like I'll the whole thing about it is you play with other people.
Yeah, but it reminded me a lot of an MMO, and that's probably why you're saying, it's the whole point of it is to play with others. Like I've played my share of MMOs, and it just drags on, gets tired. Like I was really, well, not that much, but I was into World of Warcraft, really into Star Wars Old Republic when that came out. And I like stuck with them for a good year. It's just so much running, and then you're just running to go kill something, to run back, to upgrade, to just go off and kill. I like with friends. Yeah, I was playing that with friends too. It just it got boring. Like you spent more time talking than actually like being challenged or playing. But anyways, The Last of Us. What's your beef with it?
Questing. All right, so I remember when I didn't plan on getting The Last of Us initially. And then the old website I worked for was a multi-platform website, and a buddy of mine did the review. He gave it a 9.5 or a 10 or something. And I was like, okay, well let me check it out. So I checked it out, and it got all these Game of the Year awards and all that stuff. Oh, it's the greatest story ever told, man. Like, all right, it is. It is. It reminds me a lot of like the whole Uncharted series. And it's not that it's a bad game. It's a very good. It's a very solid game. The puzzles are terrible in it. They shouldn't have even done that. The areas for being, an open, desolate world are not open. They're very linear. And it's almost like the original Gears of War to me, where it was like a sense of almost false advertising. Like you were expecting this whole new experience, and what you actually got was just something that you've seen before, and you've played things like it before. It's definitely not a terrible game. But I actually did a follow-up article on the review that we did on the site. It was The Last of Us is a good, not great game, and I still stand by that to this day because it's a good game, but it's not a great game, and there's a lot of issues with it that people, for some reason, didn't want to address. you got your little stupid sidekick there who could shoot a gun like Jesus, but God forbid she gets in ankle deep water. It's like over. And there's just a lot of inconsistencies with it, in my opinion. And I don't know. That was pretty much it. Like I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I just I like it. It's there. It's cool if you want to play it, but it's nothing. It's nothing groundbreaking or anything.
So to touch up on like, it got a lot of tens out of tens. The Last of Us was very well received by critics. Similarly, last year we saw Bayonetta 2 hit kind of scores like that all over. Do you think Bayonetta 2 is justified with their score compared to Last of Us? Like, if you would have to compare the two, or is Bayonetta like clearly better than Last of Us for you?
Apples and oranges, first and foremost. But as I can't really compare the two games because they're very different.
Well,
But I
not
enjoyed Bayonetta.
yeah. So
I'm saying I enjoyed Bayonetta 2 more so than I did The Last of Us. I mean, there's a ton of games on all systems that I enjoy more than The Last of Us. I would rather play Enemy Zero of Us. I would rather play Metal Gear Solid 2 than The Last of Us. Like, there's so many. Like, I don't know. The whole thing is I just don't understand why it was so well like hyped and why so many people were into it. Like it was the second coming of Jesus in a video game. Like it wasn't genre defining. It wasn't some miraculous experience that you've never had before. It was a standard action game with some survival elements in it.
well,
Okay, Metal Gear Solid 3 is more of a survival game than that ever could be. You actually had to survive. You broke your leg, you had to take care of it. Like there's no survival mechanism in it, and that was supposed to be like one of the main, points of the story, but they never tied it into the gameplay, I felt.
all right. Like, I'm probably the worst to defend The Last of Us, but I'm still gonna kind of give it a shot. Like, to me, what it seemed like it was very well praised because what it redefined is how to tell a very engaging story. The visuals were kind of top notch. It was the best on the PS3 at the time, but it seemed like it really got players attached way more, and it was just an incredible feat for like developers, artists. Just again, I'm probably not the best, but you didn't see that as like what other game told a story that was as engaging as Last of Us? Like, personally to you, do you find another game did do it better, that you got more attached to the characters and you got more attached into the story and more wrapped up with it?
Yes, I hardly got wrapped up in the story of Last of Us. I could think of a million games that I think have a better story than The Last of Us. And the last look,
Well,
the
name
reason
one.
one of the
Name
reasons The
one.
Last of Us is Metal Gear Solid 3.
All right, I didn't play that, so I can't argue that one. I'll give it to you.
What? Um, Look, I could sit here. Okay, let's see. Those aren't really story games. Those aren't really story games.
All right,
Resident Evil, the first one. Fin- uh, let's see what else I got here. Kingdom Hearts, Grand Theft Auto,
yeah, Kingdom Hearts is pretty good.
Dragon Quest, Dementium,
All right, all right, all
The
right.
Godfather on the Wii. I mean, it's not a terrible game. It's just it didn't do anything different. Like, I don't understand why people think it was, did so much different. It didn't. It just didn't. It's a good game.
It made
It's
many
very
people
cool.
cry, I'm sure, at the beginning. That beginning was a very touching
Who the
scene.
No, it wasn't. And the ending of the game sucked too.
Well, don't
When I
don't
when I
ruin it.
finished the
I
ending,
didn't.
I was like,
Whoa, I didn't end it, so don't spoil that.
okay. Well, when I finished it, I was like, that's it, really? Okay, that's great. And my housemate was sitting right next to me, and he was like, oh, is that it? I was like, yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, it's not a bad game. It's a good game, but I think if it came, here's what I think. I think if it came out on the Xbox 360, 90% of these people wouldn't give a shit about it. And I don't know why. I don't know why, but I think that's 100% true.
So you think this was the poster child for Sony fans, and they just all went behind it because it was an exclusive? Is that what you're saying?
Yep, yep. I honestly feel that. I think if it came out on 360, it would just be another game. A top game, but just another game. But whatever.
You know what? I think we need to get a PlayStation enthusiast representative here in this podcast for these sorts of questions.
Well, I would hope that someone that works at PlayStation Enthusiast realizes how overrated the game is. That'd be like saying, "Oh, Mario Party's great. I love every Mario Party because I work for a Nintendo site." Like, come on. There's tons of bad Nintendo games, which we'll talk about later.
Right?
I don't know. Last of Us is cool, but ain't that great. Get over it.
So talking about good story games, brought another good topic to my mind. Have you ever cried during a game? Has any game made you cry?
No,
You just saying that,
no,
or okay,
no. Why?
okay.
Why would I
If
cry?
not,
It's a game.
okay, you've never felt
I
a
don't cry
connection.
at movies. I don't. Not to the point of where I wanted to cry. Like,
Okay,
I
well,
don't cry at games. I don't cry at movies. Like that. That's just not me. Like,
all
it's
right,
not me.
all right. We'll skip that one then. All right,
You
next.
so cried.
Uh,
You cried at a bunch of stuff.
I
You
am.
cried. You,
I'm like I'm comfortable with my emotions. All right, and crying
you
is.
cried at Armillo.
I did not cry.
You
I
cried
did
at
not cry,
Armillo
Carmelo.
when Armillo got sucked up and you had to play as his brother. You're like, no, no.
It was sad, but I did not cry. So next topic.
You cried at Ping 1.5 plus.
Yeah,
All right, next topic.
let's not promote that guy every freaking week. How do you envision Star Fox Wii
All
U
right.
to play like? Because Star Fox is one of my most anticipated games for 2015. And what's your take on it? How do you think, or how do you wish Star Fox U works? I don't even know. Do you even like Star Fox? You're into it, right?
Yeah, I love Star Fox. Yeah, Star Fox is great. Um, let's see. How will it play? I think it's going to be. I think there's going to be multiple control schemes. I think the default one for the best experience is going to be very heavy in the gyroscope. I actually would like to see something like where you hold up the gamepad and like if you hold it up front, you're looking in the front of the ship, and this will turn your head to the side, turn your head to the side, sort of thing. I think that could be cool. It might be kind of gimmicky, but I think that would be cool. Um, I think that of course there'll be default controls, just with the analog stick. I don't know. They haven't shown anything from the game, so I mean it's very very hard to say. But
Well, I'm not saying what you think they're going to do. I'm saying if you were the producer of this game, what would you do? How would you want to see an HD Star Fox look like? Game mechanics, would you just keep it like the SNES? What would you add? What would you take away?
no, I wouldn't keep it. The N64 one was better than the NES. So if anything, I would make it just like the N64 version, and just bigger. I don't like the what was that one? Star Fox Command or something? Oh, I don't have it
Is that for
anymore.
the DS or
Um,
3DS?
yeah, the DS one. I remember my mom came to visit me, and whenever my parents come to visit me, I always make them buy games that I want, but I don't want to spend my own money on, just in case it sucks, and then I'll just be pissed at it. So that was a game that I made her buy for me. I didn't hate it, but I didn't really. I don't know. It didn't feel right at times, but yeah, I don't know. Really, like Star Fox is interesting because of how varied. Like most people think of Star Fox, they think of either the SNES or the N64 one, but that's just two games out of the series. I mean, there was the one Star
Assault.
Fox Assault. There was Star Fox Adventure, which was like a 3D world game. There was Star Fox Command, which was like almost like a strategy game. So Star Fox isn't. It's I think to this day, like the most identifiable one is probably Star Fox 64, but that could be just me, just because that's what I played it as. That's what I played as a kid. So I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest with you, because I don't think Star Fox really knows what Star Fox wants to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think there's I don't not at least not recently there hasn't been a game where you're like, okay, this is a Star Fox game. You know, like if there's a Mario game, you say, okay, this is a 2D Mario game. Okay, this is a 3D Mario
No,
game.
no, no. It's easy to say if it's a Star Fox game. If you're freaking Fox in an R wing, it's a Star Fox game.
Right, but I'm saying there's no identifiable game.
Fox in an R
There's
wing.
not a game where you say, okay, that's not a game. That's a premise.
Star Fox 64. They re-released it, so it's obviously their go-to model.
Well, because it was the best. But yeah.
All right, so
What would?
hang on.
No, go ahead.
I want to blast your idea of. I don't have my gamepad nearby, so we're gonna pretend this is a gamepad. If you're looking in front, imagine you're in space. You're doing a dogfight. You're just always like freaking doing this all the time, and like Pepe's on your side. Like, no, that'd be annoying. And who would hold their gamepad like this, like for an hour play session or two? I don't.
Men with biceps.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see your bite. It's more than muscle. It's called stamina. Um, yeah, look,
I got that too, homeboy.
I say anything with the friggin' gyroscope is bad. Don't use the gyroscope. Here's my vision of Star Fox, and I wrote this on Nintendo Enthusiast in an article. Uh, the gamepad. So you would have a space section and a ground-based section, and the gamepad. And I know they're probably not doing this from what we're seeing come out, but this is what I would want. You got a planet mode, and you can kind of issue commands to like your troops or anyone who's on the ground using the gamepad, and you can kind of keep an eye on kind of a battle going down on the ground through your gamepad. Meanwhile, in space, that's where you're actually using like all of your controls. You're flying around, you're shooting down bad guys. There's space stations. You can actually like dock in the space station, get out, run around, sabotage it, and then like run back to your R wing, fly out, and the whole thing explodes. And you're like, oh, what's going on down on the Earth? And it's like, oh, they need support. And then you fly down as like, I don't know. Is that too ambitious? Would you like
Yeah,
that?
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. I like you totally lost me. Like,
Okay, okay. Let's dissect this because I feel strongly about this idea. So on the TV, you've got basic Nintendo 64 Star Fox. You're flying around in space, okay? You're shooting down
mm-hmm.
things. You can actually like
Okay.
dock in the stations, get out of your ship, and go on foot and shoot things and like destroy a station on foot. All right, like a third-person
Okay.
shooter. So all this is on the TV, and then on the gamepad. So you got your gamepad. You're paying attention to a whole like strategic battle on the ground, and you can either deploy like more forces to the ground or strategically kind of move things, kind of like almost like a tower defense kind of game, but a little bit more complex going on your gamepad. So you've got essentially two games going on. What do you think?
No. That's too confusing. Like Jesus, it's just Star Fox. Keep it simple.
No, expand on it. Go to new frontiers. Don't always just stick with what
Wait,
works.
someone in the chat room just said online is a no go with Nintendo and Star Fox. That's not true. The DS one had online because I used to play it online all the time. So I don't think that'll be an issue. I think there will be online in the Wii U one. So yeah, just mentioning that.
Cool.
All right. So what else we got?
Do you have anything? I have a few, but I don't know how great they'll work.
Um, we talked about overrated games, and you took my number two, and I completely forgot about my number one. I really thought The Last of Us was my most overrated game, but it's actually not.
All right, surprise us.
PK Thunder!
Of course.
Look, Earthbound is a fine RPG. Earthbound is a cool RPG. Earthbound is not Jesus Christ. Okay? I don't understand how Earthbound became so popular because I could think of, tons of other RPGs that I enjoyed more than that. And every time I try to play Earthbound, I'm just like, all right, this is cool, but am I missing something here? Like, I don't know, man. People just salivate over Earthbound or Mother, whatever you want to get all Japanese technical on it, but I don't know, man. Earthbound is just not for me. I could play the game a million times. I thought it was weird when I was a kid. I thought it was weird when I was a teenager. I think it's weird as an adult. I don't get it. I don't understand it, and I don't want to understand it because it's just not for me.
Have you ever enjoyed an RPG? Is the first question I
Tons,
think.
tons,
All right, so
tons.
what kind of RPGs are you drawn to? Like, what are your classics that you've loved?
JRPGs, Grandia 2, Final Fantasies, Dragon Quest, first person ones. I'm trying to just refresh my memory. Tales, the Tales series is great. Xenoblade was great. The NES and SNES Final Fantasies were great. Um, your non-traditional RPGs, Zelda, things like that. But yeah,
All right, so pretty wide range.
yeah. I mean, I've played a bunch of RPGs from like weird ones to JRPGs to American RPGs. And Earthbound just never clicks with me. Like, I don't know. It's just like, okay, this is neat, I guess. I don't know. I don't like the combat. I think the combat sucks. It's way too simplistic. But I don't know. Kids like it, so if you like it, that's great. I don't.
Cool. I'm gonna have to give that a try still. You mentioned Final Fantasy. That's a whole topic on its own. But what was your favorite Final Fantasy?
Um, that's a good question.
Or
I would
what elements did you enjoy from various
well,
Final
like
Fantasies?
I liked all the canon SNES ones were the best, and the subsequent remakes were the best. Seven, oh my Jesus Lord, let's not talk about seven.
Let's
Um,
talk about seven. I love seven. Let's go.
Seven, oh man, Aries, is she coming back, man? Shut the hell up. I don't know where this game. You know why people dug it
You're
because of the whole, and that's why I think it's the greatest thing since fantasy games go. That was 3 through 6 were so much better than 7. 7 just had better graphics, so that's why everyone blew it off. Like it was the greatest thing ever. Oh, let me get on my knees and service you, old Final Fantasy 7. Oh, bro, Barrett, get the hell out of here, dude. That game was, it was good, but it was not that great. Play it today and it sucks. Play 3 today, play 6 today, and you're like, oh damn, this game is good. It was great. It came out at the right time. The technology was becoming more advanced, so it came out at the right time. But
no,
no, no,
no,
no,
no, no,
no.
no. It lives. It's past the test of time. I played it after the whole phase of like it's a PC game. It's awesome. The graphics look awesome. I love the SNES version. Like Final Fantasy IV, or you probably know that as 2, is still one of my favorites. Like story, gameplay, everything. The DS was a great remake. Final Fantasy VII is great. Like the story is good, first of all, but the battle mechanics of it and the characters are great too. I'm not a big fan of what they did with like all the movie and everything. They kind of made Cloud a bit emo and all the other characters. But like Materia, that was awesome to me. Like you plug in Materia into your freaking weapons and then you just like level that up. I had no problems grinding hours to level up my Materia, and I don't know why. Like the only other game that did that I love was Final Fantasy VI or 3, as you know. I disagree with you. I think it's still good today. The graphics are terrible, but the gameplay is there. It's fun. Great mechanics, and the story's good too.
So why wouldn't you rather play a game? Play Chrono Trigger. Jesus Christ, play a real RPG. Like like
Chrono Trigger's
to
awesome.
me to me to me when you ask someone, oh yo, what's your favorite Final Fantasy game, and they say 7, that's like asking someone, oh, who's your favorite rapper? Eminem. Oh, who's your favorite rapper? Lil Wayne. Like it's just trend BS, dude. No, it's all hype train, you know, bullshit. No, 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 no.
No, I think
Don't
I
like
think
it.
I think the game can be appreciated without the fanboy goggles. It was cool. Cloud was a cool character. All the characters were cool.
I
The
didn't
scene
say
was.
it couldn't be appreciated, but it's not that great. It's not
I
that great.
I think it's as good as Final Fantasy 2 and 3. Like it stands. Well,
Ugh.
like the two SNES ones and Final Fantasy 7 are my three favorites, and I think that they're all kind of up there with maybe American SNES Final Fantasy 3 being like a little bit lower. But yeah, 2 and 7 are the best.
Mm, we'll agree to disagree.
What do you think of the direction that Final Fantasy is going into? Like, have you just disconnected from the series after like 7, or
Final Fantasy can go to hell. They've destroyed that thing. Like you could talk shit about Mario getting too much exposure on a Nintendo system, but at least all those games are good. Like get out of here with the Final Fantasy. Like that name means nothing anymore. I mean, name means nothing anymore. It will never mean anything anymore. The only and it's funny. It's funny how Square Enix works because the canon Final Fantasy games never sell well enough because they put all these huge development costs into it. So they put shit out on mobile, they put shit out on the 3DS and handhelds to supplement their income, but all the Final Fantasy canon games always goes towards a high-end console like the PS4. Square Enix can go to hell, man. They remind me of they are basically like EA of Japan. Like they're a bunch of idiots. I don't know who's to blame if it's the heads at Square, the heads at Enix, or just the combination of the two together. But no, Final Fantasy can go to hell. If I never play another Final Fantasy game again, thank God. Like thank God I've been spared.
so when did you jump ship? Like, what was your last Final Fantasy where you're like, okay, the series is dead. I'm done with this.
I think it was 11. I think it was 11.
The online one? That's when the
Okay,
one.
no, it wasn't 11. What was 10 was the weird kid who looked kind of like Shulk. That game wasn't
Yeah,
terrible.
10. Yeah. Then
Maybe
they
it
had
was 12. Maybe it was
12. You
maybe it was
start off
12.
you start off in a desert. Dude named Vaughn. Yeah, and you're in a desert. Like, was it a desert setting? Lots of airships.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
stupid way
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
describe Final Fantasy. They all have airships. All right, so yeah,
Yeah.
that was my last game too, and really like the new stuff I don't care for. It lost my interest. 13, actually no, I tried 13 and it was terrible. So
Yeah, they're Squeenix is dead.
someone is asking
Hello.
When did Final Fantasy go from RPG to Kingdom Hearts? But I think it would help them if they went to like I love Kingdom Hearts. That was a good direction to take the game in. But
But Kingdom Hearts is
even King,
also
they're kind
it's
of
played out. It's played out. How many friggin' Disney characters can you use? Like, it's played out. Kingdom Hearts is okay, but it's played out. The last one I played was the DS one.
distance drop or drop.
358 and no 358 in 2 days. 358/2 days. I don't know. This is the last one I played, and this will probably be the last one I ever play, just because I don't know. I have no interest in it. I wonder if it's in the case. Not in the case.
I
Oops,
mean,
that was a manual. Oof.
they are expanding the lore like quite a bit with like 2 and 3, but I don't know. It's getting
No.
really complex to kind of keep track of everything. I even tracked down a video where a guy tried to explain the whole storyline of Kingdom Hearts with all of like the portable game storylines added in. It gets messed up.
Yeah, I'm over it. Kingdom Hearts, Squeenix, pretty much Squeenix themselves. I'm over. Like Bravely Default was cool, but yeah. What was a decent game from Squeenix though? Wonder if I still have it.
I
I don't see it.
really,
Final Fantasy Crystal Bearers. Final Fantasy Crystal Bearers on the Wii was a good game. I liked that game.
yeah, I saw someone in the chat. Oh no, he's saying he couldn't get into it. Crystal Bears for Wii.
See, I was the opposite. I really enjoyed that game. Like I had a lot of fun with that game. It was kind of short, but I liked it. It was different. It was fun.
All right, so I do have one last topic. I don't know how well this is gonna go, but let's run with it. It was someone pitched it up. So Shawn, if you and I were turned into amiibo, which one would be better? And obviously, I'm gonna say me. You're gonna say you. So it's pretty much up to the chat room to decide which is better. But what functionality do you think you would have as an amiibo if Nintendo took us and the show and anything that we do seriously enough to turn us into a figurine? If you were an amiibo, what would you do? And would
Um,
your amiibo be better than me? Why?
of course, it would be better than yours. I mean, that's not even a question. What would it do? It would just be awesome. It would do everything that it needed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be the most functional, the best, the craziest,
Okay,
the
okay,
most
but
attractive.
all right, no, now we're talking about just your own ego.
Nah,
If would your amiibo be compatible with every game, or would it be certain
every game,
genres? Every
every
game.
every game on every system. Like that's how
Oh,
crazy it would be.
all right.
Like
You're
you would be sitting there playing your PS4, and it would go within 5 feet of your PS4, and like your PS4 would just turn into a Shawn S4.
okay. So you'd be the Chuck Norris of amiibo.
No, Chuck Norris would be the Sean Long of the movie world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Chuck Norris amiibo. Well, I mean, what can I argue with that? I was actually going to approach that topic logically, but mine would obviously like unlock stuff in the indie games. Like that's what I would have. You'd have little Jason amiibo in the indie games, and maybe you could port characters between. I don't know. As I said, this one was a tough one. What do you guys think in the chat? Which amiibo would be better? Shawn amiibo would be an
They've already.
add-on character extra stage.
They've already.
I would love the Shawn amiibo for like Smash or Mario Kart. So I would just so I could beat you up when you're not online to be beaten up. What's our record for Mario Kart 8? I think I still own you on that.
No, I think it's tied. I think it's tied. Actually, I'm pretty sure
I
it was
still
tied, or you
all
might be
right.
up one or something. I give you credit. You raced well in it.
I don't like the
I
humble
never
side of you.
claimed to
It's
be a.
scary.
Nah, I've never claimed to be a Mario Kart expert. We were supposed to talk about a bad game too. Remember that? What was the well? How did I phrase it? Um, what was the
What
worst game you've ever played, or something like that, right?
it was? What game do you hate the most? But like the tricky thing is, if you hate a game,
Oh
just
yeah,
don't
yeah.
play it. It's kind of like which game were you forced to play that you hated, and why were you forced to play it? Was it like a rental when you were a kid and you're like, I got to make the best of my weekend, or is it one you had to review, or was it I don't know, someone
This
tied
is a
you?
game. This is a game I had to review on my old website, and it was like dog shit doesn't even describe it. It's like cow vomit. Super Black Bass 3D. Now, I'm a fan, somewhat, of fishing games. King Salmon on the Genesis is one of my favorite Genesis games. But this thing is just crap on a stick. Like, I couldn't catch a damn fish. You have to, like, yank back with the 3DS to hook the fish. And, I mean, the water looks like crap. The fish are like little pieces of paper cut out. And man, it's just I couldn't figure out how to buy a lure. Like they have all this bait and tackle in there, and like there's no way to buy a lure. And like I sat there for hours, and I was like, how do I buy a damn lure? And I never could figure it out. I literally never could figure it out. I played this game for 2.5 hours. I could not get anywhere in it, and it sucks. It's terrible. Rising Star Games. Oh, they make indie games, don't they? Rising Star Games, you're taking an L on this one because this game is shit and it should never been made, and you should burn all the copies left so that no kids get stuck with it.
What was the final score in your review? Did you finish it?
Did I finish the game?
No, you said you were playing it for a review. Did you, what
Oh
score
yeah.
did you?
I don't know. I think I gave it a 2, which is weird because I've given 2 games a 1 before. Flappin' Zagata on our site, and then on the previous site, this game called Stone Keep, which was a eShop, or not an eShop, a Wii shop, whatever the hell they would call that game from Interplay, which was a first-person dungeon crawler. Which, if you remember last week, I was talking about how I got into first-person dungeon crawlers for like a year or two, and that game came out, and I was like, oh shit, this looks great, and oh my god, That thing, oh, it was atrocious. It was atrocious. They say to work the map, you hit B. I would sit there and hit B, nothing would ever pop up. To do like to cast a spell, you would have to like hold A up on the D-pad and then like go in a circle with your arm like you were stirring a cauldron while there's enemies attacking you. Like it was freaking oh my god, it was so broken. It was so broken. I played that game for about 2.5 hours. I couldn't get anywhere with it, and I was just like, holy shit, get out of here. And I was pissed because Interplay was talking about doing a new Clay Fighters for the Wii. What the hell was it? WiiWare. That's what it was called. They were talking about doing a Clay Fighters for the WiiWare, and I was like, why are you wasting your time with this shit? And then Clay Fighters never came out. But yeah, oh my god, that game was a steaming pile of shit. Ugh. It makes me sick to think about it. Ugh.
So I didn't have, like, I've never had a really bad game to review besides the obvious one. I just got this like memory flash. I haven't thought of this game in 20 years, but as a kid, my cousin had a game called Amagon on the NES. Familiar with it?
Aragon?
Amagon, Amagon.
I'm sure it's not Aragon. What is it? I'm not familiar with it.
All right, so I think you're like a guy that crashed on like a dinosaur island or something, and you walk around with a gun, and I think as if you if you get hit once or twice, you die. So that wasn't the hard part. Like when you get to a boss, it was impossible to avoid him, and he would kill you. So it was like a game that just we didn't understand. Turns out, like at a certain point, you have to hit select, and you turn into this like Hulk version of your character, and then you can punch things, and you have like energy waves that come out, and you can like everything becomes easy. But that game was just I don't know if I play something worse, but that's what it came up to. Like that's what I'm thinking of for one of the worst. Just because like who uses select for an upgrade? And then the game got harder, of course, because like, even if you figure out how to like turn into Hulkman, the levels get harder. It was just a bad game. Amagon on the NES. There's a lot of bad games on the NES.
I have to buy it. Of course there were, because people didn't know how to make video games back then.
Yeah.
People don't know how to make. It's funny how it's all come full circle. People didn't know how to make games on the NES, and now you got these dumbass companies who don't know how to make games on all the current systems today. Assassin's Creed and Halo with broken online. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you got to be on some stupid shit to try to pass that off.
Another game which I hated. And I think this one's worth talking about. Zelda 2: A Link's Adventure. And the only reason the only reason I hate it is because there was a summer or a year. It was like my mission to go and beat all the Zelda games. Because I didn't know what Zelda was until Ocarina of Time. That was my entry level into the series. So then I had to go back and play everything. So I felt like it was a challenge to me that I'm a Zelda fan. I need to beat all the Zelda games. And I hated Zelda 2. It was so freaking hard. And I haven't beaten it to this day. I think I've made it to the second temple.
I can think of a Zelda game that I don't enjoy.
Go for it.
I'll save it. I mean, it's getting better. We'll leave it at that.
That's good.
All right, let's open it up to audience questions now. Talk about Assassin's Creed Unity. Assassin's Creed Unity can kiss my ass.
Oh, come on.
Have
you even played it?
It's bullshit. I don't play bullshit unless I have to review it. No.
Have you played the last one? What's the last Assassin's Creed?
4?
Right, 4? Yeah, 4.
4.
You've tried that?
Yeah, right here.
That's a good game.
Tried it? No, sir. I did not try it. I own it. It's a solid game. It's not a good game. It's a solid game.
Love it. Have you been able to beat the friggin' legendary ships though?
It's been so long since I played. I did put a hell of a lot of time into this game, though. Jesus Christ. But it's been a while. I don't remember like what I was doing or where I am in the game. Yeah, Zelda 2 was great. I love Zelda 2. Real men love Zelda 2 and beat it. I didn't like Twilight Princess. I don't understand why people didn't like Twilight Princess. I thought Twilight Princess at the time was one of the better Zelda games. I still think it's a very very good game. The dungeons
I
were great.
I thought I
The
found
story
it.
was interesting.
No, it lacked charm. You were coming out of Ocarina of Time and then Wind Waker, like great classics, and then Twilight Princess is just like, it's darker, so it's cooler. Like the
I
final
like
battle was cool, but
I like Twilight Princess more than I like Wind Waker.
why?
I think it's a better game. I didn't like all the stupid being on the seas bullshit in Wind Waker.
I hated Wind Waker on the GameCube, but honestly, the HD remake made me love it. I did everything in it. I love the exploration.
Why hasn't Nintendo gone to Ubisoft by now and asked them for exclusivity to the Prince of Persia franchise? Because Prince of Persia is dead and buried 6 feet under. They that franchise got milked to death, and I don't think anyone I don't think it'd be a worthwhile venture for Nintendo to make a Prince of Persia game. I don't know. I don't think it'd be worth it, like financially or sales wise or anything. Because Prince of Persia games were fun, but they kind of peaked and then they started going downhill, and then they did all these crazy side quest ones and switched up the animation and all that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Prince of Persia is worth the money.
All right, next question. I have nothing to say on that one.
Okay. Um,
Skyward
Lizard.
Sword, Skyward Sword is better. What do you think of that whole hate on Skyward Sword? Did you enjoy that game?
Nope, never finished it.
See, I was a fan of it. I understand the hate it's getting today, but it was better than Twilight Princess, I'd say.
No, get out of here, dude. Skyward Sword was okay. You can put Skyward Sword with like the Spirit tracks or whatever, kind of like better than the CDI
No.
games, but
CDI, get out of here. That doesn't even count. Like Skyward Sword. Okay, Twilight Princess had stupid items. Like you had the spinner. I mean, it's not. It was fun. It was underutilized, but like
yeah, get out of here talking shit about the spinner. You're like, the spinners in Hyrule Warriors. It's the greatest thing ever.
it was awesome in Hyrule Warriors. It's fun to kick ass with the spinner.
All right, hold on. We got real questions now. What franchise? Oh shit, where'd it go? What franchise do you want to see Koei make after the awesome Hyrule Warriors? That is interesting. I wouldn't like. I would like to see more of Tecmo in the next game, more so than Koei. For those of you who may not know, Tecmo is been around forever, and Koei's been doing these Warriors games forever. But before that, they did a bunch of simulation games. Like Liberty or Death, things like that. So I would like to see Tecmo take over a lesser franchise. What would that franchise be? God, let's think. Let's brainstorm real quick. I would like to see Tecmo do a hmm. How about no? We've already had a Donkey Kong. I don't know. I can't really say what series I would like, but I would definitely like to see Tecmo's more side. Like Mario Warriors, no, I don't. It wouldn't work. Pokemon Warriors, maybe. Mario Warriors wouldn't work. It would just
I
be
would,
weird and it wouldn't feel natural because I mean, what are you gonna do? Jump on everyone and ass stomp them like like
dude, come on. Look at what they made work with Hyrule Wars. You could use any item. They made the great, like anything can be used. I think Mario Warriors would be pulled off maybe as a DLC in
no,
some weird way. Yeah, you'd have fireballs. Mario would have
no.
fireballs, hammers, turtle shells kicking everywhere. Come on.
Maybe if they did different costumes. Okay, okay. But do you think there's enough characters? Like, oh yeah, there's enough characters. I don't know.
For a full out,
I don't
like,
know.
okay, so hang on. You got
Yeah.
Mario. You'd have Mario. He's easy. You'd have Luigi, which could be a costume change or the same. Yoshi would be like eating stuff and like whipping eggs everywhere. You'd have Toad throwing turnips, pulling turnips out of the ground and launching them. Bowser is self-explanatory. He'd just be awesome on the battlefield. Koopalings in their little life. Come on, anyone in Smash Brothers that's from the Mario franchise would be great in Mario Warriors.
Nintendo needs to work with Capcom and give me a friggin' Street Fighter. Yes, Pokemon Warriors would be fine because there's more than enough characters. I would not be interested in it because I do not really care for Pokemon anymore. But yeah, that would be cool. No, I'm kind of surprised like Capcom and Konami haven't tried. But I say this, but it seems like they still haven't tried to take Nintendo's olive branch to work on something for them because I think Capcom and Konami could both do really cool things. I don't know. It's kind of surprising to me that we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, they
I'm
could.
hoping Mario Maker isn't more than 14. Dude, Mario Maker is going to be a $40 game. Like, yeah, you're
Nah,
making
it's gonna be the
yes.
same. It's gonna be the same as Kirby's and the Rainbow Curse.
Oh, $40.
I don't know. In Canada, it's different. What is it in? Isn't it 50?
$40. No, it's forty
49.99?
dollars.
Yeah.
No, it's $40. Captain Toad, $40. Mario Maker, $40. Kirby, $40. It's gonna be $40. No way, it's 15.
I'm looking it up.
If Mario Maker is one of the 20, really, I'm surprised as many people think that. I really think it'll do fine at $40 because you're gonna be able to create your own levels, download other people's levels. You're gonna have a bunch of different types of sprites to use and whatnot. I think it'll be fine at $40. I don't think it's going to be a billion seller or anything, but I think $40 is fine. Maybe I'm just way overpricing
Uh,
it, but
it depends what they package with it. If it's just like here's level makers, like which is obviously the great appeal of the game, that's harder to justify. But I'm pretty sure Nintendo's gonna bundle like some pre-made levels, something for like someone to just grab and get right into it. They're probably gonna have allow you to unlock different kind of elements by playing certain levels by sharing things. So I think there's going to be a bit of single player value in there to make it worth the $40 or $50.
yeah, it'll do fine at $40. I mean, it's $40. Like it's $40 for a first party title. I don't think it's unreasonable. Obviously, some people feel differently, but Zelda Maker, I don't know. I like kind of like the Warriors, kind of like the Mario Maker. I like them separate. You know what I'm saying? Like not every Nintendo franchise needs to be a Warriors game. Not every Nintendo franchise needs to have a Maker. You know what I'm saying? Like keep it separate, keep it fresh.
Yeah, I think Mario Maker is the only one that really makes sense because it's a 2D platformer. Like it was around 30 years ago. It has a legacy. I don't think the other franchises
Right.
work as well. It's not as simple. It's not just jump, run, and dodge.
Fire Emblem Warriors would be cool, but not enough people care about Fire Emblem to make it work. Like that's just like I mean you had enough time. You had a hard enough time selling Hyrule Warriors before it came out and ended up being great. Um, yeah, it wouldn't work. Which GameCube N64 games would you like to see remade in HD eShop release? None. I don't need the HD remakes. They don't do anything for me. Um, I mean, remakes are cool because at some for sometimes, but I don't know. I'm not really big into the whole remakes thing. Like unless it's like a substantial difference. Like you're taking a 2D game to a 3D game or something like that. But as far as just polishing up things, kind of like the whole Resident Evil HD thing that's going on right now on PS4 and all those systems. Like, no, I don't do
Well,
it.
a great appeal of HD remakes, like, if like you would want to have an underrated game more so. Like it's always good to have a masterpiece and you remake it, but it'd be cool I think on the eShop if they did do an HD remake or just a re-release of games that flew under the radar.
But wouldn't that waste time? Like, okay, if it flew under the radar the first time, what's to say that's going to be successful again? I mean, look at Sin and Punishment. Was it Sin and Punishment Star Successor or something? Yeah, on the Wii. The first game was under the radar, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's so good." And then when they came out with that, like it sold like shit because it just flew under the radar again. You know, that would be a good game. There's a game here. You want a game that I want to see Koei work on? Koei Tecmo Star Soldier. or not social, Sin and Punishment. Sorry, Sin and Punishment. That's what I would like to see him work on. That would be badass.
I would say bring back some Conker's Bad Fur Day, like someone mentioned in the chat, and some Banjo Kazooie. Get some 3D platformers back.
Yeah, just like walk over to Rare and be like, hey, I know you guys are owned by Microsoft. Can we have those IPs back? It ain't gonna happen. Just get over it.
It's called
Banjo Kazooie wasn't even all that great, anyways. It was cool, but it wasn't that great. I'll give you Conkers. Would I like to see a new Stunt Race FX? Yes, I would. And only if it uses the FX chip, only if it's a cartridge and it comes out for Super Nintendo. That's the only way I will want to see a new Stunt Race FX.
Does Wii U library need more RPGs? I think we're going to get some good RPGs, especially like when you're considering indie and AAA. I mean, we're getting Xenoblade Chronicles soon. I mean, that's going to be a big RPG. And yeah, there's a bunch of indie games coming along.
And Pierre Solar that just came out was a good traditional JRPG. I think the Wii U library needs a lot of things. I think the Wii U library needs more shooters, more variety, I guess you would say. I would like to see more shooters. And this actually brings me to something that I don't know. Maybe we can close on this. I had a discussion with someone today on Facebook where they were showing off a video they had made about basically they wanted Nintendo to make a system to compete with whatever was the current gen, such as like PS4, Xbox One, so that third-party companies would come back to them. And to that I said, well, A, you're going to alienate the people that like Nintendo in the first place because of a different experience, and B, you're not really necessarily going to get the third parties back. And his response to that was, well, if that's not good enough to get the third parties back, then Nintendo needs to go third party themselves. And a lot of people used to say, like about a year ago, that was a hot topic. But one thing I wanted to say is we've only had one company go from a hardware manufacturer to a third-party software developer. That was big at the time, and that's Sega. And you could say that at one point Sonic was a bigger mascot than Mario. You got to remember Sonic had two different cartoons running simultaneously. There was movies for Sonic, and while there was stuff like that for Mario, it really looked for a while like Sonic was gonna take over as the main video game mascot. And now look at Sega. They're a shell of their former selves. They're cutting stuff left and right. They went from a hardware manufacturer to a third-party developer. And people always say that if Nintendo went third-party, it would be a license to print money because their games would be on PS4, Xbox One, PC, mobile. But is that really the case? Sega's not doing that because of oversaturation. What makes Nintendo games interesting and stand out is that it's only available on their own platform. So if you take that, if you get rid of the whole platform thing and you're just another company making games for the system, I don't think it translates well. I don't think, and I know I'm like preaching here or something, but I just thought it was very interesting how a lot of people think Nintendo should go third party, when in actuality, that would probably be the end of Nintendo and the worst thing that could happen to them.
Are you done?
That's all I got to say about it. Yeah, penises, vagina, boobs,
Hey.
Beer.
Woo! We have one more topic here. I don't want to leave without addressing it because it was mentioned throughout the chat and we just kept overlooking it. What do you feel about the eShop or about Nintendo skipping GameCube and 64 going straight to Wii for eShop releases?
I think it's stupid. Like, I don't know. Okay, maybe not the GameCube. The N64 I don't really care about because, as much as people want to complain about it, you can still play the games on the Wii U just through the Wii eShop menu. It's not that big of a deal to go through it. People act like, you got to give a blood sample, a stool sample, and your firstborn to get, to get in there. But yeah, I don't remember the original question. I just had a brain fart.
GameCube
What's the original
games
question?
and 64. Why aren't they out on the eShop, and why are Wii games out?
GameCube. Here's a better question. Where the hell are the DS games? I mean, that whole situation is weird, but that actually kind of plays into what I think the successor to Club Nintendo will be.
Oh, what do you mean by that? So they'd reward you with DS games? Like what? Why would you
It
be
would
reward?
no, like maybe it's not so much rewarded anymore. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll be interesting.
You think they would
You were
hold
around for
back? You think they would hold back their classics to only loyal Nintendo members?
no, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Okay, so what are you saying?
You'll see. You'll see. I got to keep it secret. I can't let all my eggs out of the bag.
Who are you
Remember that
talking
rumor I
to?
talked about? Remember that rumor I talked about last year during E3, and we were ready to run that story, like that. We were that close to running that story as being legit. That someone had told me of knowledge. I think that story is about to become true now, and
I
that's
have
going to be the successor.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm sure you've just caught the attention of everyone in the room. Can
Good.
you can you talk about it?
That's
Like
what I do.
what was it?
All right. So last year I had someone
Just
I trust
don't
very well.
don't get us in trouble though. Like
No, someone I trust very well gave me some insight into something that was going to be announced at E3, and it ended up not being announced at E3. And I've always kind of wondered, whatever happened with that. And now with Club Nintendo ending, it seems like the perfect time to be the perfect successor. So I think, it's definitely just a hypothesis, but I think it'll be interesting if it happens. If it happens.
all right, keep an eye out on that.
Remember, they're trying to cut costs, right? Well, how do you cut costs? You make things digital, right?
Yeah. Well, that yeah. Well,
Okay.
you got the eShop. Like I don't see what you're alluding to. So they're holding back games to
It's
release.
not necessarily holding them back. It's not necessarily holding them back. It's just okay. I think we may see some sort of service similar to maybe not similar to PlayStation Now,
Oh, like
but
Steam Greenlight kind of thing, where people vote for the game they want to see, and then Nintendo remix them. Is that what you're suggesting?
no, more of like an all encompassing virtual console experience as one facet of it. I don't know. It's rooted, I think, in truth. It's just whether that truth ends up happening. Who knows?
All right. Well, thanks for giving us all blue balls. So hopefully we find out what that is
No
in the near
problem.
future. Anything else? Otherwise, we will wrap this up, Sean.
I saw one question that I wanted to touch on. But Shawn, would you agree that Nintendo should branch out more to get third-party exclusives since those sell more on the Wii U? Third-party exclusives, the ones where Nintendo works with them, like yeah, Alex is kind of thinking what I'm thinking. Um, and Oz UK is kind of doing the other part of it, of what I think it's going to be and what kind of things that I've heard. But as far as third party, I don't really care. I think the best games on Nintendo platform are made by Nintendo, and that's why games like Bayonetta and Hyrule Warriors have done so well. With the because they make the game, and then Nintendo comes in and gives it that little shine that I like to allude to, and it always makes the game like so much better because it's their hardware, they know how to do it. So third party, second party working close with Nintendo, that's cool, definitely. And I think we will see. At E3 we're gonna see a lot more because the first half of the year is kind of stacked. You got some Splatoon, Kirby, something else is coming out, and something else. I don't know, but yeah, I think you'll see more than that.
All right. And that's it.
That's it. We're done.
All right. All right, great. So, typical sign off. We're going to practice this one, Sean. We kind of had one last week. Not the one you used, but
Did
the
we?
one that we went off air. Keep it classy, keep it crassy. Anyways,
I
thanks
don't
everyone for
remember any of
joining.
this.
Yeah, whatever. Thanks for joining us on Class vs. Crass, the live podcast at Nintendo Enthusiasts. We'll be back next week on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, to talk about anything that happened in the Nintendo world in the week, and of course, sharing our thoughts on anything gaming related or non gaming related. Do join us then. We'll see you guys next time, and until then, have a good night. See ya.
Bye.